Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's me, Deandra.
And it's Beverly.
So in today's video, we are going to be doing a science experiment for you guys. So this science experiment is called candy chromatography, which chromatography is just a fancy word meaning taking one particular thing and separating the different mixtures in it so that you can actually see what goes in them. So we're going to show you guys what you'll need for the experiment, and then like close up we're going to show you guys exactly how to do it. So let's get into what you'll need, and then we'll actually start the experiment step by step to show you guys how to do it. So make sure to follow along so that nothing gets messed up and that it comes out the way it should come out.
Okay guys, so for our materials we'll be needing colored candy. So we have Skittles. You guys can also use M&ms if you have, or you guys can use a marker if you don't have either or at home. We're gonna use this little water bottle here. Then we have pencils, we have plates, we have craft sticks. You guys can use toothpicks as well. We have our scissor here to cut our coffee filter, and we have our coffee filter right here. We have tape. So we have tape to put the coffee filter on our glass jar of water here, and we have salt. So you guys can use these little salt packets if you have these at home, or just regular salt at home. So these are the materials that you guys will be using for today.
Okay guys, so we opened up our packet of Skittles already. We have a small one here. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to use some leftover Halloween candy that you guys had. Again, like Miss Beverly said, you can use Skittles, M&ms, or if you don't have those, you can also use markers as well. So we're going to start off by taking our little like drip bottle. You don't necessarily need this, but we thought it'd be easier to use this. And you're going to make 4 little tiny puddles of water around a plate. We're doing 4 because we're only using 4 colors, but depending on how many colors you're using, that's how many puddles you should make. So just a few puddles. So that's a good size for that puddle. The puddles don't need to be super big as long as the candy fits inside it. So now that we have our very tiny puddles, we're going to be adding our Skittles in those actual puddles.
So we have 4 colors. So we'll be using green. Add that to 1 puddle. We'll be using purple. That here. Red. And orange.
So you want to place your candy into those little puddles of water, so that way the dye on the actual candy will settle into the water, and that's what we want. So now we're going to start setting up our coffee filters. So as you guys can see, we already cut our coffee filters into like squares. So we're going to start labeling our coffee filters. So what you want to do is you want to draw as many dots of as many pieces of candy as you have. So we have 4. We're going to draw 4 dots kind of separated from each other. So I'm going to do this edge of the paper because it's like the longer way. So just 4 tiny dots. And above the dots, I'm going to label with an initial the color that each dot is. So we have red, orange, green, and purple. So I initialed it, as you guys can see, so that we can keep track of what color's on what dot. So I don't know if you guys can see from where you are, but the dye has already entered into the little puddle. So we have like the dye inside of the puddle. So we have a little red puddle, purple puddle, green puddle, and an orange puddle. So now we are going to take our popsicle sticks. You can also use toothpicks for this part as well, but we have popsicle sticks, so that's what we're going to use. Yes, the little tiny corner. We're going to rub the little corner inside of the puddle of the water. And once we do that, we're going to then take the stick that we just rubbed into the water and rub it on that little circle there. So I'm just gonna start off with the orange because that's the closest to me. So you just take a little bit and put it on the dot. And then take the other corner and do the same thing for the green. And then you can do the same thing for the other two. So I'm just gonna, oh, there's one here. So I'm gonna take the corners again. I'm gonna do the last two, which are the purple and red. And then once you have that, you're going to want to take whatever pitcher of water you guys decided to use, whether that was a jar or a cup or whatever.
So this is how it'll look, guys.
So yes, and then this is the one that I have. So you're going to add a little bit of salt into the water. It helps the water run up the coffee filter a little better. It doesn't have to be a lot of salt either, just like a couple of pinches, yeah. And then just add whatever else, and it helps pretty much the water come back up. I'm just gonna add a little bit more for the kids. Okay. So now you're going to take your coffee filter and put the little edge hitting the water. So just, you don't have to put it in all the way, just the little edge hitting the water. So I'm gonna have some pieces of tape ready so that way when we actually have the water inside, we don't have to hold the coffee filter, it's just gonna hold itself. So I'm going to, okay guys, so we have our pieces of tape, and now we are going to, like I said, take the coffee filter and have the bottom of the coffee filter ever so lightly touching the water, and then we are going to take our tape and tape the top of the filter against like the rim of whatever jar you're using, so that way it stands up by itself and you don't have to hold it. So we can start doing that now.
And guys, make sure it's a clear jar that you guys are using so you guys can see
Yes.
the pigment moving. Okay, so
As you can see, it's moving up the coffee filter, and now I'm just gonna tape it so that it stays by itself. So again, you can do a few pieces of coffee filter depending on how many fit in your jar that you're using, just to see a whole bunch of different outcomes, because that's kind of the fun of science. If one doesn't work, one of them is bound to work out. That's like the trial and error process of science. So we'll see kind of what happens, and we'll get back to you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so while we're waiting for our coffee filter colors to spread upward, we wanted to show you guys our little puddles and how it eventually took off all the coloring pigment off of the Skittle. So you can see like the dye is completely off of the Skittles. So that's what the puddles look like. It's really cool to see kind of how that whole dyeing process works, and how like just putting a liquid to that actual color just kind of takes the color off. So again, this is how it looks. Also, you guys can eat the extra candy that comes in the package if we didn't mention that already. So that's how that looks. Okay guys, so we finally took the coffee filters out of the water, and this is what they're looking like. So the one on this side is mine, and the one on this side is Miss Beverly's. So as you can see, where the purple was on both of ours has turned red. So that's like a symbol that when they make the purple Skittle that they use a lot of red dye. The orange one kind of disappeared. The green one has like hints of yellow in it, and then the red one kind of stayed like a pink red kind of color. So it just shows all the different dyes that they use to make one Skittle. So even though the Skittle is red, or like even though the Skittle is purple, they use red dye, they use blue dye, they use all these different dyes just to make the one color. So this experiment was to kind of show all the different dyes that go into your candy that you eat. So this is how it came out. Definitely let us know in the comments how your results came out and which Skittles colored you used. And we hope you guys enjoyed this experiment, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.